Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I wanted to show you today these new stamp pads that I recently bought at a local store nearby. These are called Powder Puff Chalking Inks. I picked out the Berry Jam and the Pumpkin Pie. I thought those were good colors for fall as well as going into the December holiday season. I think they work for both, and I have some green inks, so I think that can also bring out kind of what I think of as good traditional Christmas colors, but more toned down colors. So I really like these. I have tried them. I mentioned them in a previous video. I was going to do them in some process, Bible journaling process video, but it ended up not working with the colors I had picked. So what I've done, and I've noticed having used these already just a little bit, is how well they've worked underneath some fountain pen inks. I have my Benu Briolette with Iroshizuku Yamaguri ink, I think, yeah. And then my new Kaweco brass pen has ancient copper in it. Both of these are broad nibs, in case you're wondering, when I write with that. So yesterday I just prepped a few pages with some of this ink. Now what you can do is, what they just say is just take off the lid and just wipe it along the page. And then it has these points, so if you are like actually adding color to a die cut thing that you're going to add to a bigger page, or like a scrapbooking thing, you have those little points that allow you to get into smaller spaces. So it's really pretty handy. I also tried it, I don't have it in front of me, this is actually a shoe polish dauber thing, but those Tim Holtz ones that you use, or other brands where you press it onto the pad and wipe it on your paper, that works too. But it really works just as easy just to kind of slide that along your page. Depends on how you want to do it. I oftentimes resort to just taking off a lid and just kind of doing that. You know, it depends on how much pressure you apply to the amount of color you get. So again, backtracking, I got these ready. Woo, and there goes the clothespin flying off into the air. This is a Tomoe River paper. This is just a inexpensive Amazon insert, a little bit rougher. Let me see if I have something I can stick there. And then over here I did some in my current journal on this MD paper, which I feel like is similar to that. But what surprised me is the other day I had already added some ink. So as you can see here, I've inked up the pages. This is actually a different ink, but this idea. I had ink on there ahead of time. Like here, I put on the red ink, the Berry Jam. And when I wrote over it with my ancient copper ink, it almost made the ink come out easier. It's like the ink likes this. It became a bolder line, so you can see how it's finer and then it's bolder. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I was like, ooh, I like this, because when you hear a chalky ink, it made me kind of think, oh, you know, am I going to be able to use my fountain pens on it? I don't think I'd have any trouble with my Sharpie pen or the basic gel writers that I use, but I was pleasantly surprised that it worked with fountain pen inks. And not necessarily like the Noodlers. Like my Noodlers Heart of Darkness probably would have no trouble with that at all, but it was super fun to see. Keep losing my spots here. Okay. All right, so let's just write, since we have Thanksgiving this week, I'm just going to write that. So the ink is flowing out of the pen really well, which is a good thing, and it's a nice pen. I like how it writes anyway, but I love how it's writing over the pumpkin pie chalking ink. And let's see. I was going to check the brand. It says here, I don't know, Quick Quotes. So that is new to me. It does say it's all new, but I've never seen it before. I don't do a ton with stamping, but this was new to me, so it's kind of fun. And then let's just write, oops, gotta thank Oroshizuku. So it just almost like it just clings, the ink clings to it better. If I'm writing over here, you know, it's working. It works fine. But there's something about it on the ink that just brightens the ink, makes the ink pop. Seems like they're very compatible. And let's try, I kind of got these ready ahead of time so they didn't have that sluggish start. So hopefully they're still going to work for us. This just takes it and it seems like it almost broadens up the line, but this is good paper. I like this. This is the 52 GSM Tomoe River, which I got from Goulet Pens, this little notebook. It might be partly here because it's a nice paper, but let me again show you on the, let's see how it works on this. This is the inexpensive Amazon Traveler's Notebook insert that you can get. Let's see how it works on that, and then I'll show you how it works on the MD paper. So we'll just do here. Seems like it really glides nicely, and this is the Ancient Copper. I'm still using my sample, but I did end up buying a bottle of it because I really like this ink. This is a broad, and this is the brass pen. I usually just write stuff like that, so if I'm looking back and trying to remember something about an ink, I was like, oh yeah, I liked how that wrote. So let's see, if we write this over here, it's just much drier. It might be that I'm running out of ink. I don't think I am though. I don't like, you can see it's not working there. So it could be the pen at this moment running out of ink, or it might be the paper. This is probably the least favored paper for me with the fountain pens. Let's try it on the berry here, and this is the again the what is it? Oroshizuku Yamaguri. I think that means like wild chestnut or something. I think it just gives a nice writing surface. Again, very pleasantly surprised on how well the ink takes to writing on top of these. Again, the Powder Puff, Quick Quotes, chalking inks. And then the last thing, you can try is on here. This is the notebook that I'm using. I've kind of condensed our daily happenings with more reflective journaling, and been very happy with this MD paper. So let's, here's my little sample spots here. So we'll write again, Happy Thanksgiving. Now I find as you get to the end of these books, it feels a little bit different, and I think that's because you don't have the cushioning of all the pages before it. Because when I'm writing here, I'm loving it, and like right here, it just has a little bit more of a scratchy sensation to me. Let's try this. Now, like I said, I may be out of ink, and is why I didn't have any luck writing a minute ago with it, but let's see how we do here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go get my other pen. Hang on. Okay, this one also has ancient copper in it. This is my TWSBI, one of my TWSBIs. This is a broad nib. Most of my pens have a broad nib. I have found that's my favorite. There we go. I think this is just running out of ink. So yeah, it works really well. Just loves to flow on that ink. How many times are we going to watch me write Happy Thanksgiving? I guess my point here is to show you that these chalking inks and the fountain pens work together nicely on at least these 3 different kinds of paper. So the MD paper, and then I had here the Tomoe River paper. And then back here I was, excuse me, trying to write on whatever the Amazon paper is. I don't know. But if you just look up Traveler's Notebook inserts and you get the Amazon variety, no name as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. So just to show you here. Yeah, this ancient copper looks really good on all these. I've had so much fun writing with these, and the past few days using these inks in my everyday journaling. I don't want to reveal too much of what I've written, but it just goes so nicely on the page over the ink. You can see here, you know, you're writing and all of a sudden it gets really broad. So I think they're really good. And I wanted to show this. Sarah Martinez had on one of her recent videos a stencil that was about this size, but the letters were more the traditional, not letters, numbers were the more traditional blocky style. And she said she's looked everywhere for it. I finally found this on Etsy, but the numbers are, let me put it under something dark. There we go. They kind of have a antique-y look or vintage look to them. They're like raggedy looking, kind of cut out looking. So it's not super easy to just use with a fountain pen. I mean, it would work with like a Sharpie type of fine tip marker, but it's still, because of all the little nooks and crannies there, that doesn't work extremely easily, but it does work. And if you want to do stenciling with an ink pad like this or a dauber type thing, it would be super easy to do. Excuse me. So right here you can see how the numbers look. So I actually did do a Sharpie and then I filled in the color. I went over the stencil again with color. So that's something. Anyway, the reason I mentioned Sarah, she's got a great channel, by the way, if you haven't watched her yet. She's got all kinds of good ideas and a really nice variety of journaling topics. But we were talking about having a stencil like this that would fit in a notebook, a traveler's notebook easily, or a pocket of a folio that isn't too big. And I showed you my one the other day that was way too big, which that was kind of a weird thing. Anyway, I won't get off on that tangent, but this works. I just happened to find that on eBay. You can look up metal number stencils. It wasn't too expensive. I don't remember. Less than, I think around $8 or something. Anyhow, and then my friend Jen at Jen's TNs also pointed out that Allie Brown, her Etsy shop, has some plastic number stencils similar to this, but the more blocky letters that we kind of expect to see. But this is kind of different, and I thought it might be fun for just a a new little thing. And I wanted to show you my little charm. My husband took this coin and drilled a hole in it for me. My daughter got it when she was in Guatemala. So I kind of like that look. So there you go. Anyway, basically just wanted to show you these. Once again, they're Powder Puff Chalking Inks by Quick Quotes. And I think they work really nicely. At least these two colors are working fine with the few fountain pens I've used to write over it. So maybe that's something new you might like to try for your December dailies or any kind of December journaling you're going to do this year. And I hope that's informative and helpful to somebody that's looking for something new to try. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.